Hi, Claudia Luna Palencia. It's Olena. I'm now in a safe place. I suppose so. Yet it's a safe place. I'm in a small city, Irpin. It's near Kiev, in Kiev region. It's around 15 kilometers from Kiev, and now it's absolutely calm here in Irpin because there are no subjects of critical infrastructure here in Irpin. There are no military objects that has been attacked in the recent hours since the early morning today. Of course, it seems to me that everyone is absolutely shocked, especially people that wake up because of the explosions they heard. Of course, here we can also hear some explosions from the neighboring town, Hostomel. Here is a cargo airfield there, and we've heard also the planes that are somewhere somewhere up, but we don't see them because it's pretty cloudy now, but they are a bit far from Irpin. They are not here. It's also a problem for me now to reach my work, but the head of my office allowed me to stay home now, and everyone is from our team is staying home. Only the news department is now currently working. They worked the whole night. Of course, there are people at places, and I hope that in the nearest hours I'll figure out how I can reach Kiev, because now the public transport that has been rising since the morning till the late evening, it is particularly stopped, and the underground that I have to use to go to my office, to go to my work, it also works particularly. Some of the stations are now blocked. Do we feel safe? Of course, no. It's a very relevant question nowadays, because, for example, my brother now, he was in a vacation on the western part of Ukraine, in Zakarpattia Oblast. It's the most western part of Ukraine, but he decided to immediately come home, and I'm a bit worried how he will reach home. Now he is staying in huge jams on his way to Kiev, but of course the bigger jams are from Kiev towards on the western side of Ukraine. Perhaps I suppose some people will try to cross the border to go somewhere to Poland or other countries, because Poland, for example, has already said that they are going to take some refugees if there is a need in that. But of course, since the early morning we are following the news. It is very shocking. I suppose that not so many people actually believed that it could really happen, these massive attacks, and to wake up because of the bombings of some objects, it's something absolutely surrealistic, and especially no one expected, no one from my circle, let's say this way, that is gonna happen so immediately in the different parts of Ukraine, and we totally understand that it doesn't mean that now you can feel safe in the western part of Ukraine, because we've heard the news, we've seen the videos that the bombing of some military infrastructure has been happening all around Ukraine, not only in western part, not only in central part, but also somewhere on the west, in the western cities like Lviv, like Lutsk, that are especially that are pretty far from the borders, for example, that are now being invaded. Well, we are staying home, we are trying to follow the situation, we are listening to the news. I can't say that our home, for example, that my family was fully prepared for that was happening, and in the morning when we heard the news, when we heard also some fire sounds of bombing, we tried to at least to take in some comfortable places to find some food. We have still, it seems to me, that enough food for several weeks, but to put it somewhere in a place where you can grab it in case of need and go. So of course there are medicines that we prepared in case of what, and we are staying home. We are not going to evacuate anywhere, because for example, my grandmother now is staying in a hospital after COVID. Now she's a little bit recovering, but still he needs to stay in a hospital, and hospital is also in another neighboring town. And now, for example, she needs to get some blood from the donor, but there is also the problem that no blood is allowed to give to some civilians, to some ordinary patients. All of the blood that was received from the donors before, now it has been collected for people that will be injured in the next days, for the military representatives that perhaps for the soldiers that would be injured. All of this blood is needed. And for example, the President Zelensky, in his claims here also several hours ago, mentioned that he would like people who, of course, who can defend their country, who know how to use some weapons. Let's take part in this, for example, territorial defense allies, but those who can't do that, who isn't available because of the age, because of any other because the person doesn't have any experience. For example, for those he asked to give the blood for donation for our soldiers, for our Ukrainian soldiers that defend our country. Well, there are some positive news, of course, that some cities and some towns in the eastern part have been taken first. There were great troubles with them. They were invaded, the first ones, but now Ukrainian armed forces have already controlled them. So it's some positive news, but of course we do not understand what to expect in the nearest hours, what to expect in the nearest days. It's absolutely hard for us to imagine, and of course we're grateful to our Western partners that are very concerned by this situation, and we fully understand them, because it is important to understand that this situation, this war, obvious war, this real invasion, it's not only about Ukraine. It has to be obvious for the whole world nowadays. It is the great problem. It's gonna be the great problem for the whole Europe, at least, or for the whole world. It's a catastrophic events that are happening, that we are witnessing right now. So it's hopefully we will be safe here, and hopefully this will end soon. We believe very much in our government, especially in our armed forces, and we very believe that Ukraine will resist this aggression, this war, and so we will be strong, and we hope that we'll be strong and we will resist. Thank you, and Slava Ukraini.